Mic check, mic check.
Mic check, mic check.
Michael checks.
Mic check.
Sniffles.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Okay, check on my end. All right, we're good. All right. Welcome to the Blue Rubies Podcast, episode number 276. I'm Adrian. That's Kels. That's Sick David over there. He's
Hell yeah.
yeah, he swapped COVID out for a cold.
Moving on up in the world.
Yeah, which do you prefer?
Cold. It's either way, I can't breathe, but at least the cold, I'm not miserable in bed.
Interesting. Were you that miserable? Was it that bad?
For the first week, I was in fucking bed, basically. And then doing that with Extra Life was not fun.
I can't imagine. Anyway, we talk about video games. We talk about anything that comes to our mind every Tuesday on youtube.com/@BlueRupees. This week, we're talking over those Game Awards announcements, doing a little bit of that. We're going to talk about a couple speculated purchases. I think it's namely just one. And we'll try to make it a little bit short because I know we say that and we curse it, but David is a sick boy, so he do be needing that rest right now. As he drinks alcohol,
As
right?
if I'm gonna rest.
Are you drinking alcohol still?
Yeah. It was like the first alcohol I've had in like 3 weeks.
You weren't drinking the last couple podcasts? Or podcasts?
No,
No,
I was just
pounded
water.
Yeah,
Wow.
he has to kill that.
I was
batch
being a good boy.
somehow.
Yeah, look at you go. Well, David, tell us about that. How's the cold been?
You're looking at it, you're hearing it.
On a scale of 1 to 5.
Well, I mean, it's probably like 3 out of 5. Would not recommend.
Love that for you. Just been stuck in bed then?
No, I've been working. So
Lovely. Sorry for that sucks. Kels, how you been holding up?
Hey, I'm healthy and knocking on wood right now.
Dude,
hell yeah.
I feel like I don't feel it quite as much. Like, you know, when there's usually that one feeling, you're like, yeah, I'm fucked. It's like on the cusp of feeling that feeling. I'm like not quite there yet, because it just gets coughing all over the place. And one of them's like mad because like stop cursing me because I don't get sick. Every time you tell me I'm sick, I actually get sick. I'm like, no, that's me just telling you you're getting sick. Stop blaming me. That's literally you getting sick. Go wear a mask. So I feel like on the cusp of something unfortunate. Hopefully not. Yeah. So I'm we're doing esports stuff, right? And we had a solid season. My team right now are just some grinders, dude. They like play 4 out of 5 days of the week during school, and it's like it's a lot. And then they play during lunch. They play a lot, and it's like, yeah, that's why they're so good. But we actually so like I guess to preface this is like they're sometimes not fun to play against because they get so into it, and I'm like, I've grown to a point now where I don't really mind losing so much, but I've sacrificed my big like urge to constantly win with now I just have fun. Like if I lose, it's fine because I would love to have the extra time in this world to commit to that. I don't. So I'm going to just enjoy my time. Like I know I'm still good at the game. I'm not bad, but I'm definitely not grinding or any of that. But I've sacrificed that. Whereas they're in that mode where they need to win. Like they have a lot of fun too. But like there's times where you could tell it's like, so like today one of my boys is still trying to practice. He could beat me with a few of the characters easily, but he's trying to get Marth up there now. So I cleared him like every game except for like one, and he was like getting so into it. I'm like, dude, I'm trying to have fun, man. But on that, we had one of our the reason I'm a little late here is we had one of our alumni came in to play because he actually plays for his college. And I was prefacing like, yeah, these guys are good now. Like this was our guy that was like our number one. And our team kind of cooked him like not like some like two of them like gave him pretty close games and one just cleared him. And he was actually leaving our practice to go to the college practice. He's like, Low key is the best practice I had before a game, dude. You guys need to play the college team. I'm like, maybe we set that up. But it's good because he's very lighthearted and very jovial about things. Like when he loses, he smiles and laughs. It's like, yeah, that was good. Like, and I'm like, we need that energy, please, please, for love of all that's good in this world. But yeah, let's just hop into it. David, what'd you get this week?
Hell yeah. Inside of me are two wolves. Dragon Quest 3 remake. Got that. Excited for that. And Needy Girl Overdose.
Interesting. I want to play that. I downloaded that on Steam and I tried to boot it up a little while ago. I played about
Needy Girl Overdose.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you explain it better.
Yeah, it's a kind of visual novel where you're a fan of a streamer.
You're a simp.
Who, yeah, you're a simp for this streamer. But it's kind of like I Can Fix Her simulator, where you're trying your best to like interact with her and get her to make better life choices. But everything you do to try and coax her into changing her life causes something else in her life to go horribly fucking wrong.
Yeah, so you'll encourage her like, hey, maybe you don't stream tonight, and then it'll be like lost followers.
Or hey, maybe start taking this type of caffeine, and then she gets addictions. Or she suddenly starts taking like actual drugs. Or she starts getting into nudie streaming and gets sold into sex work and like all kinds of other weird shit that can go on.
Yeah.
Back in my day, we just played Counter-Strike, man.
Yeah, man.
Hell yeah.
But it's interesting. I think it's also an interesting little commentary on how that all goes. David, anything else?
Oh, that's all I got. I've been keeping it light lately.
Nice. Kels?
Yeah, nothing at all. I have been
Ooh.
keeping it light as well.
I had this and I forgot. I left it in this package because I got it a little while ago. Forgot all about it. So I got it now. It's that Bloodborne book.
Nice.
It's like a full like guide, like world guide on it. So that was cool. And then I got this, which I wasn't gonna get, but I was very, very pleased with the outcome of it. I got the new Linkin Park record. If you haven't heard it, it's super solid. I'm actually very, very pleased with it. Shout out to them. They've been going through do a lot of interviews and stuff. I've been keeping up with that. I always forget how much of a Linkin Park fan I was. I think it just like I was a big fan as a teen, and then just kind of appreciated them and still listen. Like every time on days they dropped, I was like always there day one. But kind of just appreciate them later on. And then I think after this last hiatus, made me kind of realize, yeah, no, I did fuck with them pretty hard. Doing a whole world tour and yeah, that sucks because I really want to get some tickets, and I'm imagining they're outside the realm of anything I can afford right now. So we'll see.
Yeah, I've heard them and the MCR tickets are hitting ridiculous amounts.
So Linkin Park tickets go on sale to general public on Thursday. One of my former students is a massive Linkin Park fan, so he and I have been talking a lot, and he has $8K in savings, and he splurged a $650 ticket for LA, where it's Linkin Park, Queens of the Stone Age, and JPEG Mafia, which is a solid lineup. But he splurged for a pit ticket and early access so he can get on the rail.
Jesus.
Gotta love that though, you know, like 18 years old and you had savings and you splurge a little bit on that, like go do it, dude. Like good shout outs to you, dude. But a little bit outside my realm of stuff that I'm able to afford, obviously. I'm still in debt to Sir David here. So I'm yeah. So actually, and I do have my first couple payments coming up here. I'm finally getting paid for Coach Pay finally next paycheck. So
Hell yeah.
I will be sending you some dinero. But yeah, no, I'm bummed because I'm gonna see what I can do. Might make a play with a few people, see if they could pitch in as an early Christmas / birthday gift because like I said, I was going to see them at Sick New World, but a festival Linkin Park versus like a dedicated show to Linkin Park, it's two different things. But yeah, definitely check that out if you are into that. That's all I got. Dave, what'd you play?
Oh yeah. Pokemon TCG, whatever.
Yeah, you got
Play.
into that
Yeah,
this
that
last
boy's
week.
been grinding it.
Yeah, I basically maxed out everything you could do in 4 days.
I guess you're not doing much else in
It's
bed right now, right?
That's fair.
yeah. So here's the thing. I got a lot of mixed thoughts on it. I don't know if you guys want to talk about what else you've played, or if we're just gonna
No,
dive
jump,
into
jump
this
into
right
it.
now.
Jump into it.
All right. So I have a lot of concerns with like where the Pokemon TCG has kind of evolved to. I like this iteration of it. I like that instead of like having um, six prize cards and kind of filter out for your deck, that's just like, no, you're playing for knockout points. I like that. Honestly, I do like the kind of smaller format too, of it being 20 card decks. And I do like the way that the energy is done for most part in this. Um,
But
but I the concern I have with energy is I really wish they would just do it like they do in what should we call it there? Force of Will. So Force of Will TCG plays a lot like similar kind of games like older Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, etc. Except that they have an interesting tweak to the rule set where you actually have a separate deck that is your mana deck or your energy deck, and you can decide what ever many energy cards are in there. So you create the custom bell curve of what you want that energy to look like. I wish they gave you the option to kind of tweak the bell curve in this, because as it stands now, doing any multicolor deck that isn't with water is kind of pointless, because it really is just a coin flip on what your energy is going to be. And I've wanted to try to do multi-energy decks, and it's really it's basically just fingers
I
crossed
think
on how they work.
literally out of all I've played, I think I've seen one multi-energy deck ever work, and it was had to have been like just solid. Like it was a really good deck, but I'm like I can imagine you got fucked on this sometimes too.
Well, it's frustrating because the one Pokemon line that really takes care of wants to do that right now is the Dratini line, because they all want lightning and water, but they have Misty to support. So so as long as you get at least one lightning in there somewhere, Misty will kind of, in theory, balance you out a little bit. I got some thoughts on fucking Misty, but
Yeah,
it's
fuck Misty, dude.
Except for me, apparently when Misty's with me, I really wanted to like try to make a meme format of that because like Misty with me can't do fuck all. I'm like, cool, good shit. Waste two goddamn
so you're
cards.
the guy that always
But
gets tails turn one and quits.
yeah. Every other time it's Misty just like, all right, GG's. And yeah, fuck all right off. If you get go first, you're fucked.
Yeah. Shout outs to all the Articuno players that literally just turn one Misty, and if they don't get several heads, they just quit the game.
Yeah, or the Lapras CXs that everyone kind of farmed
Yeah.
up for.
But yeah, my other kind of issues and complaints with the game is I have most of the cards in the game. I got really lucky with a lot of my pulls. I'm at like 210-ish of the cards, but I still have like weird missing spots, and there's no real easy or simple way to fill in those spots. So like for instance, I have more than I know what to do with of the Nidoran male and female. I have Ditto King and I have Ditto Queen. I don't have either of their fucking mid-stage evolutions.
You don't have enough pack points to buy them.
That's the problem. Is I've been using my pack points to fill in so many weird spots like that, because that has all been the shit for most part I've been missing. It's like mid-stage evolutions or like the really stupid expensive regular Pokemon.
No, I get that. I feel like I didn't have too much of an issue filling in some certain cards just because I've had enough pack points to just cover for that.
But like,
I mean, it should only
it's
cost you like I think 70 max. I think for just a regular common card to fill in.
yeah, 70 for any of the mid-stage evolutions usually.
Yeah, and I think I had to do the same too to cover for one of the Nidorans.
But I only got like 250-ish pack points. I haven't had to open many packs. I've only been playing for a
That's
little
fair. That's
bit.
fair.
I was looking at Kel's profile. I'm like, this man's fucking opening packs left and right. Uh,
Except
but like I
nothing
think
good.
it said
Yeah, not
Fucker.
good at all, dude.
fair.
They're
Yeah,
terrible.
'cause I think
so
it
bad.
said that I've opened like 47 packs.
I didn't even know it says that. That's sick.
Yeah, it's one of the like
One of the
player
trophies.
stats. Yeah.
Yeah.
How many packs have I opened? Let's see.
Oh yeah.
Which does lead me
160.
to a kind of complaint that one thing I'll give Hearthstone credit for is I appreciate that you can dust your cards in that game to put towards unlocking other cards. I wish they had that. Right now, all that this game does is you can destroy your cards to get basically visual effects for your cards,
Yeah.
which is kind of fucking dumb.
Where do you
Yeah,
see
because
this
I
at?
mean, just on your profile, your trophies, it should be the first one for packs opened.
131.
I'm at 160.
You got me.
Yeah, let me double check. I think I'm at like 47.
I've been playing a little bit longer though too, because I remember we're actually recording. I got the notification on my phone and I mentioned it.
Yeah,
Like,
you hopped in right away.
yeah,
Yeah.
because I signed up for like the preload.
Yeah, I think I signed up. I just didn't do anything for the first like week or two.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's right. I used up some of my things now, so I'm at 75 now.
Hell
Yeah.
yeah.
Rookie stats.
But I am holding on to more of my refresh
Hourglass,
things
yeah.
because there's a new pack around the corner. So
My
Yeah, supposedly it's like a mini series, and then there's gonna be a big set drop next year.
but
trying
that
for
leads me
Pikachu.
into one of my other complaints is that they skew the draw rates of cards. And Kels, I know you have the same, I'm sure you have the same frustration as I do if you've looked at the draw rates. Because instead of it being like any other fucking TCG in existence, where every single pack has its own specific line of cards, all the packs have a specific line, but then there's still a third of the card pool that is synonymous across all three packs.
Yeah.
So it's not that you're dealing with a specific percentage pull rate on one pack. It's skewed where you're also kind of fighting against like an extra third of random common shit on top of that. Because I have most of the cards in the Pikachu pack. I have most of the cards in the Mewtwo pack. I have fuck all from the Charizard pack because I keep getting the common shit from there.
Yeah, that's something I was kind of noticing too, because especially with what you're talking about with like all the chaff that you get and how you can only do cosmetic shit with it. Like, there's only
Yep.
so many fucking Caterpies I can break down into like a prettier Caterpie. Like, like this is ridiculous. And the packs aren't like, they don't have guaranteed slots. So like in
No.
TCGs, whenever you open a pack, you're guaranteed like you'll have a rare slot, you'll have a full art hollow slot or something. There's guaranteed slots where, hey, this will be here if not better. Like in Star Wars, they're at the very back. You have your foil slot. It's always
Yep.
going to be a foil. It could be a regular foil or it can be a full art.
You don't want to be a heathen
Force
and
of Will
flip the
does that
pack and
too.
open it first.
Do what?
You want to be a heathen and flip the pack so you can open the foil first.
Oh, I do that
I-
IRL. I degen that shit. I start ripping them like, nope, that's what I need. Everything else, bye.
I don't know if it's just purely like my own weird fucking brain rot, but I will spin until I find a pack or see if there is a pack that is spun around automatically. Because I swear I get better pulls from packs that just spun around.
You could swear all you want, David. It's not true, but I love that for you.
There's no actual truth to it. It just feels that way.
Hey, whatever works, man. It's apparently working for you because I'm still fucked on my collection. I think I'm at like 160 cards total. Yeah, I'm at 158 out of the 226. So
Oh shit! Yeah, let me check where
Yeah.
I'm at here.
beating my ass, and I still haven't gotten any of the like immersive cards yet either.
So if you're not counting the promos, I'm at 170 of the 226.
Nice. Okay, so I'm not too far off.
And that leads me to one of my kind of last like major complaints with the game so far, is that it's very hollow. Once you've kind of gotten caught up with all the daily grind stuff, there really isn't much to do. There's no competitive. There's no real purpose to kind of keep checking in other than to get new packs. You know, your 2 daily packs if you're not paying for the game. And I don't know.
Don't
It
forget
kind of
to
needs.
cancel your free membership if you're listening. Anyone out there?
Yeah, if anyone is able to get those premium memberships, I can't because I use a fork of Android. I don't use Android proper, so I don't have Google services to use all that
Yeah,
with.
so because it does nothing for you once you finished it, right? Or is that the thing, or how does this work?
No, so it's a monthly subscription. It's $10 a month, and I guess there's gonna be a new premium track for each month. Like this month, we had the Mewtwo stuff, like the playmat, the binder, blah blah blah. And I guess next month I think from what I've seen, they're gonna do a Pikachu and a Charizard one as well.
But there's no point for it. Like, I had the subscription. I wasn't really paying attention to what it did.
It's just you get 1 extra pack daily and a bunch of shots of cosmetics.
Yeah.
When is it? When can you see that it ends? I know it just says it's a thing. Does that have a place where
I'm
it
not
tells you
sure.
where it ends?
There's probably an area in there. And also I think there's a Mewtwo promo card for next set as well.
Yep.
Or the next battle pass, whatever, monthly reset. Yeah, I'm not too sure where it would say. I went and canceled mine after I figured it was getting close to the 2-week cutoff.
Reminds me, that's another weird thing with a lot of these. I have more of the promo cards than I do of some of the regular actual fucking cards. Like, I just realized I still haven't pulled a regular Meowth. I have like 17 of the goddamn promo ones from the Lapras and from the little Chansey Meowth thing there. But I still have not pulled a regular one. And the challenges require the very specific versions if you're doing the theme deck challenges, which apparently is also the only way to get the Mew card, is to get all of the original 150 Pokemon of the specific cards, which is so dumb. I think anytime you're trying to go for challenges like that, but you have so many already out of the gate different variants of the same fucking Pokemon, just have it be the fucking Pokemon in general.
I was off by 3 days. I subscribed till next month.
They got you.
They got me. Oh well, I'm playing it enough. I don't really mind too much.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was with it.
Yeah.
I was like, if I forget it, I think I'll be fine.
Yeah, so those are my overall thoughts so far. What about you two?
I'm about in the same spot. I agree. It is a bit hollow. But I mean, game starting out, I expect they'll add in some kind of ranked mode. They already confirmed trading for January, I believe. They confirmed like more events and like the mini set coming up here.
I'm
soon,
sure
so.
it's a test water right now. It's like, all right, let's see how it does. Oh, it exploded. All right, cool. Let's just keep adding stuff then.
Yeah, I very much, it feels like a kind of platform for them to jump off from. I do feel bad for the people playing like Pokemon Live, because this is where all the attention is going to go now. After it was like 18 million downloads or something like that.
Right.
Not to mention the amount of Reddit threads of people of like, all right, I dropped $1.50, have all the cards, ask me anything.
Jesus.
I think I've counted like 7 of those threads in just the last 3 days.
Of course.
So if you want to know, it costs about on average $1.50 to get a full set of all the cards.
Oh yeah, wasn't there? I seen there's an article that like mapped out like how long it would take you playing just to get like all of the cards.
My during esports for a little bit, we were all comparing how our collections looked, and the coach has not been able to get a fucking Mewtwo. Everyone else has the immersive Mewtwo, not him.
Yeah, same. Yep, same exact.
I don't have that. I have 3 of the regular ones, but I don't have the immersive Mewtwo
Even
the EX.
Even one kid who's like, I started playing 4 days ago. I got it. He's like, what?
Yeah,
it's unfortunate.
Which I'm sure is also. I know that leads to a lot of the gripes that I know a lot of people are bitching about right now, is that we're seeing, 1, the meta's already been solved, but also 2, a lot of people are just in general annoyed with the lack of variety in the decks they face. And I feel like genuinely it's just because of the fact that there's so few cards that are getting really passed around, that like I only have like 1 really good deck, and it's my Pikachu deck, because that's literally all I have to make a solid deck out of. I didn't choose the Pika Life. The Pika Life chose me.
Oh, I'm sorry. You got the
Um,
fucking best tier deck in the fucking game. Oh no.
That's
yeah,
kind
but
of
I
where
still build mine a little bit differently than most people. Just because, you know what, fuck it. If I'm gonna rely on coin flips for some things, I'm gonna rely on just paralysis stall for fucking ever. Let's go.
yeah, no, that's kind of where I'm at because I've just been almost solely busting Charizard packs, and so I have all the Charizard EXs. I have the Moltres EX cards, so I've just been running those. I've been kind of wanting to dip my little toesies into the Arcanine Blade, was it Blaine deck?
Hmm.
Might give that a go. But so far, the Charizard deck's been roasting the Mewtwo deck, so as long as I'm eating up one part of the triangle, I'm fine with it.
I'm still enjoying my Koga deck with the poisons. That's been my favorite deck for sure. I've got a full 2 Lapras EX water deck. I have a full Mewtwo with Alakazam and Gengar on there, but I just enjoyed the poison deck a lot. It's just fun, just kind of just making them spend resources to have to get rid of the poison's been fun.
I would love to play that deck if I could get the fucking pieces for it.
Luckily, the
Right.
the Koga deck is the least rare one. It has no EXs. Um, the rarity the rarity is not too bad on the Koga deck if you're ever interested in it.
I would love to. I ain't pulled shit. Again, I still don't even have the fucking middle of the Nidoran lines. Either of them.
Right. I forget which.
Fucking, I don't even have a Gloom. I'm still missing goddamn Gloom.
I think
I
I
just
am
pulled
too.
my first Gloom today. Yep.
What's up, Pepperoni? Yeah, I think I'm missing Gloom as well. I think. David, been playing anything else?
I am real quick. No, but there is one deck I am kind of tempted to make just to have a fuck around deck. I need a couple more cards for it, but I really want to build a deck around Aerodactyl. Did you guys look at his ability?
I've seen a few that have Aerodactyl in there. Yeah.
No, I saw the.
Adrian, you look at them.
No, I forget which one. What was it?
Aerodactyl's ability is it's 2 mana to do a coin flip, and on heads you just send your opponent's active Pokemon back to its deck. I just want to build around that and just not even bother with damage. Fuck it. You're just going back into the deck until eventually you have nothing on the field.
I just fought my first in a long time Meltan deck.
Oh shit.
Dude,
I have one of those too.
Yeah.
I love Meltan Melmetal.
He's a tank of a motherfucker, dude. When she's out there, he's hard to fucking bring down.
I use Mawile and Pharaoh in mine, so I'll
Mm.
keep those out there while I'm charging up. So I'm just knocking your mana off.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Kyle, what you been playing?
Ton of Pokemon Pocket. I've been playing more Black Ops. Other than that, a lot of TCGs. Nothing else.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
I don't believe I've been playing anything aside from just a few of the mobile stuff. So, all right. Man, good shit. All right, we're blazing through for David's sake.
Hell yeah.
So news, real quick. I want to mention. I think again, David. I think just makes you appreciate Remedy. Why I appreciate Remedy so much. There is a investor video meeting that they had, and Sam Lake's up on stage talking. And he says, Sam Lake tells investors that Remedy strives to make commercial successes, but that games are also about creative expression, and the company must never lose sight of that. 100%.
That's good.
Love that. Love that fucking company. So good. David, what else you got? Yeah, always actually just Game Awards. Let's jump into Game Awards stuff. That's our big one. This one. Everybody said I'm trying Outlast Trials. How's that? I heard it. I was gonna check that out. I heard it was pretty solid. So we're gonna go through Game Awards stuff. I think is everyone like cool with skipping the esports stuff?
Yeah, fuck the esports stuff, dude.
Yeah, the two specific, the esport team and the esport player,
Yeah, I don't.
the esport game.
I don't follow enough for me to care.
Yeah, the esport was specific ones we can get rid of.
Cool. And then we're gonna be doing our own predictions, Kels. So,
Is there like a specific website y'all are looking at?
yeah, I got it on Game Rant. Let me copy and paste this real quick for you.
Cool.
Yeah, because I just copied and pasted my selections and then went from there.
Yeah, there you go.
Sweet.
Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and do predictions. Let me get a notepad out so we can start
Predictions
writing
and
ours.
break down the
Yeah,
bullshittery
and
that's going on.
yeah, we're gonna talk about some of this for sure too. Let's see, where's this at?
Yeah,
Because
so I definitely
starting
got some
off with
fucking
number one
thoughts
on
on these
here is kind of
categories.
crazy. Yeah, game of the year. Tell us why it should be Balatro. David, go.
Dude, I
Yeah,
I just
absolutely
love
not.
how fun that's been. Just thinking about how much David's been
I
mad.
will, I will
David, hold
say,
on, wait,
I'm
wait,
gonna
wait.
get this out of the way. No, let me get this one let me get this one thing out of the way. I am excited to see indie representation in Game
A
of the
one
Year.
man made, like single man
Yes.
made game fighting against all these motherfuckers.
You know, I'm happy for you. I'm glad you got there. I don't want you to win, but I'm fucking glad for
I would
you.
love for them to win, even if even genuinely, even if I hated the game, having a single man indie game says so much. I think that's huge. Even if I fucking hated the game, I'd be rooting for that.
I don't want it to win because of the precedent it would set. So I'm excited for them. I
I
don't want to fucking
Where was your excitement when Dave the Diver was fighting its ass off last year, David?
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
yeah, in indie darling, Dave the Diver.
I I want to say that I'm glad that the Game Awards vindicated me because I felt for a little while after 2 weeks of David just trashing Balatro, felt like it gaslit me into thinking I was like maybe I didn't like that game as much. And then I look and I'm like, oh yeah, I had 52 hours in that game. And then everyone talk about how much and it's so fun. People say how much they love it, or there's people, oh, they paid for their spot. No one cares. I'm like, yeah, sure, bud.
It's so funny too because I've heard other people like talk about Balatro and they start off the exact same way as David. Like, yeah, this game's a bunch of bullshit. It has everything I don't like about XYZ, blah 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 blah. And then like every so often they'll come back to it and be like, oh yeah, have you still been playing it? Oh yeah, I've gotten this far in it. I'm like 70%, blah 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 blah. And then they come back to it like another day and it's like, oh yeah, I beat it.
Yeah, I do need to play more. So
Absolutely not.
let's go into this. Best sports racing game. We
Oh,
got.
we're fucking jumping around. All right.
I'm jumping to the bottom of the page that I listed on with
okay,
Kells. Yeah,
gotcha.
I'm going bottom to top because
right.
we're gonna peter out of
Starting
this
from the
conversation.
bottom, now we're here.
Yeah. This may be like Hades for me, where the Game Awards essentially introduced me to this game. I instantly love it. Yeah, Balatra's amazing. Don't listen to David.
No,
No,
I've
the
seen
game's
that too.
terrible.
I've seen some people that never heard of it, and then like they're like, I can't get this off my phone. Like my phone battery is dying.
Yeah, fuck David. Everyone's right.
Oh, fuck Balatro.
Best sports racing game: F1 24, EA Sports FC 25, NBA 2K 25, Topspin 2K 25, and WWE 2K 24. Very surprised college football was not on this list actually.
Yeah, that one's super surprising because that would probably win it.
Yeah, that was the best received football game in ages. So
Yeah,
I kind of feel like it's snubbed for the more mainstream shit, to be honest.
it has to be.
yeah.
Well, see, that's the thing too, because that could have been such a big deal because it's been gone for 10, 11 years, and then I don't know.
Also, reward the
Okay.
fuck out of them actually doing well. Like
Exactly.
Jesus.
Also, let's be honest. Does fucking Top Spin really need to be there?
I mean, I'm not gonna
Who's
judge a
fucking
game.
clamoring for tennis games?
I'm not
to be
gonna judge a
honest?
game. I'm not gonna judge a game if I haven't played it. That's unfair for that. But
I
only
can
being
judge
one
many
race
games I
game.
haven't played. Trust me.
David, I imagine you were going for WWE.
I am. There's been some rockiness as it's kind of continued on, but it's still steadily gaining back the trust of the players, and it's we're getting there. We're not still at the heights yet of like SmackDown versus Raw, but we're slowly getting to that point. So my vote's goes to that, obviously.
Nice, Kels.
So is it which one we want to win or which one we?
Yeah,
think
so we
will
always
win?
did this before, and I feel like it's just a little bit extra needless work that I don't really care about. We could just mention what we care for to win, but what is the prediction? What do you think is gonna win?
What I think is going to win, probably EA Sports FC 25.
That's what I was thinking too.
Yeah,
All
what I
right.
want to win would probably be F1 24, just because best sports racing game. There's one racing game. Come on.
I always hate that category. It's so
You want them to
it's so
beat the
funky.
odds.
Yeah, exactly. Underdog coming through.
Right. All right. Next up is best sim strategy game: Age of Mythology Retold, Frostpunk 2, Kunitsu, Gami, Path of the Goddess, Manor Lords, and Unicorn Overload.
Let's go, Unicorn Overlord.
I'm surprised I didn't hear about that game a little more. I forgot the game even came out this year because of that.
We need to give Vanilla some more W's.
Kels?
Manor Lords.
Okay, let's see. Kills, and I'll go with David on that. I would like for Unicorn Overload to win. All right. Best family game: Astrobot, Peach, Princess Peach Showtime, Super Mario Jamboree, Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom, The Plucky Squire.
Astrobot.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be Astrobot.
Yeah.
You've stacked the deck. There's 3 Nintendo properties here, and on any other year, I'm sure we would be arguing amongst. Oh, look at that sweet face.
Yeah, that's what we'd be arguing.
Sure on any other year, we would be arguing over which of the Nintendo games was the best one.
Yeah.
But fucking Astrobot just fucking hit different this year.
Yeah, it's really weird for a Mario Party game to be in there that had good reception and it not even being considered.
It's weird for a Zelda game
That too.
to be in there and it's not gonna win that, you know. So that just says a lot about Astrobot and how well that's taken everyone, and kudos to them. I was glad because ever since playing that on the PS5 when that like pack-in demo they gave, I thought it was cute, and I'm glad they decided to expand on that and made something that everyone enjoyed. So, yep, also putting that in for Astrobot. Next up we have innovation and accessibility. Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Diablo 4, Dragon Age The Veilguard, Prince of Persia The Lost Crown, or Star Wars Outlaws.
This one, I had to do a little bit of Googling around to kind of see what each of the games did. And I'm going to be honest, I'm doing this just because I want this development team to get a W. Fuck the company itself, but I want the team behind it to get a W.
Prince of Persia.
So I want Prince of Persia.
What did it do, though, specifically?
They added a lot of like customization to the actual game difficulty, as well as a couple different like visual modes, basically making it so for most part, if you were either had some kind of visual impairment or if you just like struggled with certain motor functions, the game was still playable to the end for you.
That, and they just kind of made like Metroidvanias in general a little bit more accessible to people.
Yeah.
I feel like 'cause they allowed you to like take snapshots of the map to like go back to certain areas.
Yeah, they did a lot to basically not impede anyone's ability to beat the game.
Yeah.
Cool. So, Prince of Persia, Kels?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with that too.
Uh,
Although I feel like it's probably gonna be like Diablo 4 or something. Be like, we have 35 different ways that you can filter the colors on our game, and then they're gonna get it.
you know what? I'll do that just to be fun. Just spice it up a little bit. All right. Best action game. Black Myth Wukong, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Stellar Blade, or Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2.
What I think is gonna get it is Stellar Blade.
Really? I think
I think I'll
it's
get it.
Black Myth Wukong.
Well, that's interesting because I was gonna go with Space Marine too.
I can see. I think
Yeah.
it's split, dude. You know what? If it wasn't for, I feel like Black Ops 6 has a solid path. The only one that I think kind of stumbled too far was because of Helldivers. That little like a few bumps in the road that it had. I think threw it off the train too much. I don't know how you guys feel about that. I thought like Helldivers. If you asked me at the beginning of the year, like Helldivers would lock, but
Yeah.
Yeah, Helldivers has had a lot of touch and go, especially with its almost at times combative development with its player base.
Oh, super combative. They actively made the game not fun to play.
Yeah.
you know what? So I like that. It's the first one that we've all gone separate ways for that. So I'm going Black
Because
Myth.
like, in my heart, I want Space Marine 2 to get it. I still need to get around to picking it up.
Yeah. Same.
But I feel like Stellar Blade has such a strong dynamic following.
But it's not
that-
the critics, I don't think. It's got an online following. I don't know, because the way the Game Awards works is it's all those combined critic scores, like IGN gets a vote, all this, whatever. And then the fans get 10% of the vote.
Well, it has the buff from having near DLC too, right?
Nah, that's my buff personally.
Which is paid. I didn't realize that was a paid DLC. I thought it was free.
That's why I always thought that it was it
Oh,
was
we'll
gonna
be
be a lot
speaking
more
about paid
beefy.
DLC later.
That's why I thought that that near DLC was gonna be pretty beefy for Stellar Blade. I don't know. I
Still
don't
gotta
think
play that too.
I don't think it has enough of a critics following, but I could see it. I think genuinely I think this one can really be up in the air for everyone still.
I mean, it clearly doesn't have like that strong of a critic following because I think it's like the only category it's fucking mentioned in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is a shame, and that's also kind of low key. Reason I might think it get it is there might be like that like pity thing of like Black Myth is in like a billion other categories. So they might try to give a little bit more credence to something not fucking Wukong Black Myth, but
Maybe, but then again, they're also not shy to give everything to let some stuff sweep. I bet what happened to David's camera quality.
right now I'm on my laptop camera. I haven't gone back to my other dedicated one.
Okay, so I'm on Black Myth, David's on Stellar Blade, Kel's on Space Marine 2. Best fighting game: Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, Grand Blue Fantasy Versus Rising, Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection Arcade Classics, Multiversus, Tekken 8. If you asked me on any other day, or if you asked me any other year, I would have thought Tekken 8 clears. But then I guess I wonder how out of touch the critics are with how much that game has been like kind of shooting itself in the own foot sometimes.
Well, here's the thing. I am of three different minds on this one. There's what my heart wants. My heart wants Marvel, baby.
Your dick wants
because
what?
it always wants Marvel. Marvel.
I thought you said your heart.
But my heart wants Marvel. But my brain says a fucking re-release compilation shouldn't be in this fucking list. So because of that, it does come down for me at least between Tekken 8 and Dragon Ball Sparking. My own personal biases lean towards Tekken 8 because it's a proper fighting game. I fucking hate the Tenkaichi series. I hate arena fighters. They're fucking trash. I get why the casual audience likes them because they are more of a spectacle. And I feel like it's because of that, if we're looking at it just from a critic standpoint, I actually could see Sparking Zero getting this.
I think Sparking Zero takes it.
And I'm going with Tekken 8.
That's what I want.
Let it
My
be
mind
known.
wants it.
What are you voting for? What are you putting your vote in?
My vote's going to be for Sparking Zero, but what I want is Tekken.
Yeah, I mean, I still enjoy Tekken a lot, but I think it's unfortunate, kind of like the routes it started taking, which not much I can do about it. Best role playing game.
Wait, you didn't like the Chipotle crossover that they did?
Oh, that was great. I didn't have to pay for it.
Okay.
Best role playing game: Dragon's Dogma 2, Elden Ring: Shadow of the Erdtree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth, Metaphor Refantasio. Now,
This looks
stacked
this year.
fucking year, dude.
This is a
could,
crazy.
I mean, all hate
this
aside.
could easily be game of the year.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is like, I mean, Shadow of the Erdtree. We'll talk about that later, but you could literally erase best role playing game and just put game of the year, and that's solid. I would not believe that.
And that's also considering how many games are still also not on this list. Like this was a fucking year of RPGs. It's part of the reason I haven't completed many games this year. It's because I've been playing almost nothing but 100-hour fucking RPGs all goddamn year long, and I'm still fucking getting caught up on the ones from this year.
Yeah, it's super daunting because I'm in the same spot. I'm still working through 3 of these. Granted, I'm like a good portion of the way through all of them, but still, it's like,
Right.
Oh man, here's the thing. I am gonna go ahead and say
He's gonna say it.
I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say that Metaphor is gonna get this category.
Yep.
And part of my reasoning is I honestly think 7 Rebirth is here for namesake, but I don't think it's actually going to take much this year. And as much as I adore the Yakuza series and the way that they have gone more into the RPG realm, I still don't think it's enough. I don't think it's at that cultural relevancy state yet where it's going to be winning much. And I'll be fucking damned if a DLC wins. And also, I don't think people remember that Dragon's Dogma 2 came out. So I think it's going to be Metaphor.
And a lot of people really didn't like Dragon's Dogma 2 outside of critics too. I remember critics were glazing it, and then people were like, "This is just more of one."
Which, I mean, it should be a good thing. And it was funny how anticipated that game was. But yeah, it didn't make the splash that I originally thought it was going to be making just by the murmurings that were popping up. Like a whole ass
Yeah.
live stream and everything about that. I was like, I thought it was going to go crazier. But yeah, it's a stacked ass category. I think FF7 Rebirth loses just because time has sipped away from it. It's a little bit out of the zeitgeist. Metaphor is primed and ready in the middle of the zeitgeist. You know, it's got that new factor on it, and it's Persona, and critics love that shit. So
I was gonna say the opposite. I was gonna say I think Metaphor might be a little bit too late to it. Final Fantasy VII is people are gonna be like, oh yeah, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth did come out this year, and probably default to that.
you're going FF7
Yeah, I'm going FF7.
over Elden Ring? Question
Yeah,
mark.
because I'm in the same boat of DLC probably should not be here, regardless of how I feel about the game. Because yeah, it is great DLC. It is a great base game along with it, but it should not be here for these categories.
Yeah, agreed. All right.
All right, and this next category, which is like, I don't know, fucking throw it in here, I guess, category.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Best action adventure game.
Yeah.
So yeah, this one's kind of confusing. We always go through this every year. I thought I had it down. It should always be best action game is just pure mechanics, and best action adventure game is just a game that's also has a lot of narrative depth to it as well. And you would think that too, but is Astrobot very narrative heavy? I guess.
No.
No, that's
So-
what I was kind of wondering too. Like all of this is, these all like give different tones.
Like I get
Astrobot's
Prince of
your-
Persia, I get Prince of Persia, I get Silent Hill, I get Star Wars Outlaws. I guess I get Echoes of Wisdom too. But Astrobot's definitely the outlier on this because I would put that in a straight up action game because it's just it's a really solid platformer. But I don't know. But then you look back and I'm like, I thought was Black Myth Wukong not a narrative heavy game? I thought that
It was very narrative
So
heavy.
I don't understand. Every year I feel like I have this category down. I'm like I finally get it. Another wrench in it. So I think it's kind of superfluous, and I just want a reason to nominate 10 action games. With that said, I think Silent Hill 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for me, Astrobot and Silent Hill 2 kind of feel like the outliers for action adventure game. But I'm in the same boat. If it's going to be one of them in here, I feel like Silent Hill 2 could probably take this fairly easily.
Well, I'm going to go for, I guess, apparently the underdog and say Astrobot. I don't think Silent Hill 2 is walking away with any accolades.
No, I definitely walk away with one. I think. But
Does it have
we'll get
sound
to
and,
that.
like,
Yeah,
music.
it makes it for sound.
It 100. Okay.
If it
never
doesn't
mind,
win
the
sound,
metaphor.
that's the biggest upset.
Okay, all right. It's in the sound category. I must have missed that one there.
I think it hits its sound. The sound in that game is incredible. I think this is one of those where
Oh
Astrobot
yeah, they
could,
get audio design and score and music. Okay, so
I think Astrobot could win Game of the Year. I think this is one of those weird Game Awards things where they'll give it to a different game in terms of this, which
That's kinda where I'm
logically
at,
doesn't
too.
make sense. You know, when you think of it logically, I'm like, I feel like if it's Game of the Year, it wins that category too. But I understand why.
Yeah,
It's,
it's happened with like the year that like Deathloop and a lot of the other shit came out, right?
right. So I go down for Silent Hill. Kels goes down for Silent Hill, and David, you go for Astrobot.
Astrobot.
Because I think if Astrobot is not winning Game of the Year, I think this is where it wins for sure.
Yeah, and I don't think it's winning game of the year. I'm going to be honest.
I would be shocked if anyone had any other answer on here besides the correct answer, unless you're picking for a pick that you really care about. But most anticipated game: Death Stranding 2 on the Beach, Ghost of Yote, GTA 6, Metroid Prime 4, Monster Hunter Wilds. There's one
Prime 4.
answer that will win.
I know the one that's gonna win, and it's Wild. Let's be honest. Look, Jeff Keighley, as much as he wants Death Stranding 2 to win,
Are you fucking with me right now? I can't tell. Like your sickness is really fucking up your sarcasm for me right now.
no, I know Jeff Keighley wants Death Stranding 2 to win.
No,
but
that's
I
not
think
even
from-
that's not even what I'm saying. Kels, can you tell him which one's gonna win?
Yeah, so I'm thinking Adrian's talking about Metroid.
Yeah, that's what I want to win.
I think that's what we all want to win.
No,
Yeah.
I'm just saying what's gonna win. There's one that's gonna win.
Yeah, it's Monster Hunter Wilds, of course. There's nothing else on this list deserving of that.
Okay,
You have two basically indie games,
Grand Theft
aside
Auto.
from the three that we've talked about on
I'm
here.
too tired for this shit. All right, I'm putting GTA 6 in. What are you guys' meme picks apparently?
No, what are you talking about? GTA 6 is an indie game. No one cares about indie games.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm honestly like the one person that's not Jeff Keighley that really cannot wait for Death Stranding 2, I feel like.
I need to play Death Stranding. I've every once in a while I get into a thing where I'm like, I really want to just get through that game, but
I keep lying to myself saying that maybe I'll enjoy it, and then I keep watching footage of it and go, no, I will hate this. Don't do it.
it's literally like the most walking sim you'll ever play.
It's
Yeah.
the most anxious I've ever been while playing a game here recently that I can think of.
Yeah, I do want to play it though. One day I will play it. Game's gone by, Dave. We'll force you through it.
Absolutely not.
You would be
I'll
would be
watch someone play it and I'll get the same experience.
yeah, but you would be interested in at least seeing what it was about. April said, "Score from what I played, y'all hating." David's hating.
I am the biggest hater.
All right, Kendrick Lamar, calm down.
Kojima Productions' biggest hater.
Yeah. So, David, what are you picking?
I'm gonna say Prime 4, honestly.
All right. I hope you win that, David. Kels.
Yeah.
Just pick the
Death
right
Stranding
answer.
2. Nope, I'm
Oh
going
my
DS2.
god,
I'm taking the Jeff Keighley buff.
that's cute. You guys want to?
Jeff Keighley from Overwatch buff.
Yeah, you
I'm
guys-
sorry, no one gives a fuck about your indie game Grand Theft Auto 6,
yeah,
Adrian.
I want to win.
There has to be a category here for Kojima, and this is the only one that I'm seeing with Kojima on it, sir.
Yeah, I want to win. Hey, shoutouts to content creators of the year. I don't know. I know one name, and I don't even know anything else. So moving on.
Oh, Pekara. That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm
'Cause
happy for
that's
you.
the only one I know because she's a VTuber, so of course I know who she is.
Yeah, I figured. Best VR/AR game: Arizona Sunshine Remake, Asgard's Wrath 2, Batman Arkham Shadow, Metal Hellsinger VR, Metro Awakening. Which I'm surprised I didn't know there was a Metro VR game.
Yeah, I heard the
Uh,
Batman and the Metro ones are really good. So
Asgard's Wrath's always like up there with one of the highest rated games as well, though.
yeah, I always think that one's like an industry plant or something because outside of like
Yeah,
those reviews that you see,
yeah.
it's like no one talks about it.
Wait,
Yeah.
did neither of you two have picks for content creator of the year?
No,
The only person I know on there is Queso.
I've heard that name. That's all. That's
Yeah.
the only name I've heard. I don't know anyone else. If the VTuber wins, David, I feel good for you. I'm happy.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Best VR game. Going on to what Kel says, yeah. Honestly, everyone I've heard that has played Batman Arkham Shadow has basically said that they went into it the expectation that it was just cashing in on the name
Yeah,
and left so amazingly surprised that it felt like
it's like
genuine
it's a whole ass
experience.
Arkham game. Yeah.
yeah, that's exactly what I've heard too. I think Neo said that too. He was tweeting about it and said it was surprisingly really fucking good.
Yeah, so I'm definitely excited. I really want to get into a MetaQuest 3. So if I ever do, I'm gonna hop into that game.
Hey, now they
I'm
have
gonna
the
say Batman.
3S or whatever.
Yeah, but at that point, I'm just go for the 3.
Yeah, at this point, I just want like something that's smaller form factor. Like they had one that was called like the Lynx that was supposed to come out at one point. It was kickstarted, but I don't know. I just want.
I'm
something
still
that's, like, an
rocking my
actual
Vive.
small.
The original release Vive.
I get too hot and sweaty in that shit. I need something small and nimble.
See the hot sweat that's gonna work out though.
Sure, but it's fucking disgusting at the same time.
I mean,
I
I bust
got-
out, to be fair, I bust out my VR like once, maybe twice a year. So
Yeah, I bought the rubber covers for that too though. So if I ever do workout stuff, it's easy to clean.
Yeah.
Best debut indie game. I like how they really.
oh wait, did we all say Batman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm I like that they're trying to give clarification to these things now because they're like best indie game recognizing. Anyway, best in debut indie game: Animal Well, Balatro, Manor Lords, Pacific Drive, or The Plucky Squire.
You know, this was another year of like genuinely banger fucking indie games.
And Balatro.
And Balatro. But I actually almost gave it to Balatro. But because of the fact that it's in Game of the Year contender, I honestly went with Animal Well for my pick.
I could see that. Kels.
I'm rolling with Manor Lords some more.
What is
I
that
do
game?
think it's a really, I wouldn't say quite cozy, but it's like a medieval fiefdom sim.
You just kind of
it's
go around gaining control of territories, but it's like first person, so you can still kind of like experience the life of doing it.
Yeah,
It's on
you
PC
can
Game
kinda,
Pass. Hell yeah.
yeah, it's on PC Game Pass, on Steam. But yeah, it's like a top down, but you can go down into like people view and kind of like live through it. And it's like a lot smaller. It's kind of like Civ on a smaller scale, or like something like that on a much smaller scale.
Interesting.
Let's Game It Out has a really fun video on it.
Yeah.
Would recommend.
All right.
But it's another one of those games. I think it's like 1 to 3 people working on it, and they've just been kind of trucking along and doing their thing.
Interesting. I'll go down with that. I'll break that and say Balatro.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I think Pacific Drive has a good chance too. That one was really cool.
It was cool. I don't think it actually performed well though. In terms
Fair.
of like active like performance. I heard it was pretty glitchy. Okay. Sorry, now I'm loading up this Xbox app, which is giving me 14,000 fucking pop-ups. Chill. Okay. Next up. Whoops, I gotta write that down. Best independent game: Animal Well, Balatro, Lorelei and the Laser Eyes, Neva, or UFO 50. I've never heard of UFO 50 or Neva.
Same.
That got a lot of.
UFO 50 is actually going to be the one I was going to go with, because if I remember right,
Ooh.
UFO 50 is like it's like 50 different games, like all in one.
Oh.
UFO 50 is a collection of
Interesting.
50 single and multiplayer games that span a variety of genres, from platformers to shoot 'em up to puzzle games, roguelikes, and RPGs. Our goal is to combine a familiar 8-bit aesthetic with new ideas and modern game design. Overwhelmingly positive on Steam right now.
You know what's
Yeah.
funny is I say I never heard of it. It's in my Steam wish list.
Yeah, well, you go through your recommended all the time, I'm sure, with overwhelming positive that's doing that. Mossmouth,
Yeah.
what do they do? What's Mossmouth do again? Splunky. Okay.
Okay, yeah, we're in good hands then.
All right, and then Neva,
Um,
that one popped up a lot here.
You know, I kind of went back and forth on this one. I'm going Animal Well, but honestly, I could see Lorelei and the Laser Eyes being like a sleeper hit.
I would love that. I love Simogo so much. Let's see. I'm gonna put that on my wish list too. I'm sure these will all go on sale probably during the Game Awards as well.
Probably, yeah. I seen I guess Amazon is gonna have like exclusive deals and stuff during the Game Awards.
Yeah. So whereas
They're,
T4 is
like,
already
partnered
sweating.
with it. Yeah.
All right. So, what are we voting for again?
Animal Well.
UFO 50.
Let's see. David's on Animal Well. Or no. Yeah, sure. Then Kel's are on UFO 50. I'll do Lorelei and Laser Eyes. I wanted some stuff. All right. Best multiplayer: Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Helldivers 2, Super Mario Jamboree, Tekken 8, and Space Marine 2.
I feel like Helldivers 2 and Tekken 8 just kind of like invalidate themselves.
Yeah.
But I mean, I can see them like somehow winning, or Helldivers 2 just purely on the popularity. Like, oh, it had 250,000 concurrent players. It must be a popular multiplayer game.
But if we're talking popularity,
Black Ops 6.
Call of Duty's right there.
And it is like the best received Call of Duty in a while too.
It's really fucking good.
I see Black Ops walking away with it.
I do too. I think this is a ripe year for it. I think it's a good year for Call of Duty to sweep quite a few of these categories that they're in.
And rightfully so. Good shit on that.
Yeah.
Best community support.
I hate this category because I don't know what the fuck that means still.
Yeah, and I feel like at this point it's just a No Man's Sky category.
I assume it's just whichever game is putting out the most content continuously.
But that's not community. When I think community support, I think like the community
that
actually
makes
being
sense,
involved
but
with
it's best supported community might be a better one.
But then why do we have best ongoing game? Because then at the same time they're the same fucking category.
Yeah.
I don't know, like best ongoing game. I'm still playing Smash. That game hasn't gotten supported. What do you have to say about that, David?
It's not getting new content. It's not ongoing.
Anyway, let's just try our best. Same thing with the action adventure thing. Best community support: Baldur's Gate 3, FF14, Fortnite, Helldivers 2, No Man's Sky.
Baldur's Gate 3.
Kels?
I'm gonna go ahead and say Baldur's Gate 3 too, because I feel like they've gotten a lot of updates recently for it.
I'll throw down on that too. Games for Impact: Closer to the Distance, Indica, Neva, Life is Strange Double Exposure, Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, which thank you for this category because I forgot that game came out this year, and Tales of Kinzara Zao.
Yeah, is Life is Strange already out? I didn't realize.
Yep.
Oh shit, I need to play that.
I went with Indica for my pick because I kind of want another like out there pick to just kind of have like a good sleeper hit to win, and Indica is one that I feel like deserves it.
So, and we're talking about deserves it in terms of games for impact.
Yes.
Okay.
Because it's certainly not Hellblade 2 because that game came and fucking went. That game
again,
left no impact.
I understand what you're saying by that, but again, I think just mental health, Hellblade's always been the one that's like forefronted that. You know what I mean?
It has, but I don't know. I feel like you have to also make an impact to leave an impact.
No, I mean, there's games on here I haven't heard of, including the one that you just mentioned. And I mean, like I said, like yeah, I forgot the game came out this year, but again, like I think it's just a matter of which one just promoted either equality amongst everyone or mental health awareness the most, and I think just Hellblade still has that, so I'm still gonna put in for Hellblade.
Yeah, I'm either going Hellblade or Life is Strange. I'll probably go with Life is Strange.
Okay.
All right, I'll be the odd man out here. I'll ride or die with the indie title.
All right, we're blazing through this. Best narrative: FF7 Rebirth, Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, Metaphor ReFantazio, Senua's Saga Hellblade 2, or Silent Hill 2. This is also a very stacked list right now. I mean, I get the Hellblade 2 is kind of definitely the outlier, but
I mean, this is basically best RPG ish, and then two other picks.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think Like a Dragon might be the outlier. I think it might get the shaft just due to the tone of it.
It's
I don't suspect Yakuza's gonna be respected.
Silent Hill 2. I'm putting it down.
Ooh,
I'm gonna will this into fucking existence. I want this game to do as well because it got shafted. I tell you.
I'm genuinely surprised with how hard you've been standing it, considering you haven't finished it yet.
No, but I've been hearing a lot of rumblings about where the game went, and if it's going the way I think it's going, it has my respect infinitely more. Like, and I'm going to now. I'm probably gonna restart the game, but next break, probably Thanksgiving break next week, I'm probably just gonna barge it, because it's something special they did, and I'm very happy about it.
The second it's on a sale, I'll probably grab it.
I think I'm gonna go Metaphor.
I think Metaphor has a
Go Metaphor as well.
chance. I think I think it's between FF7, Metaphor, and Silent Hill 2, honestly.
Yeah, and unless Metaphor like drops the ball somewhere, I think it's on a good pace where I'm at to definitely take narrative for me.
From everything I've seen about the game and everyone that I've talked to about it, Metaphor basically feels like the culmination of everything that the Persona team has learned up to this point.
Yeah.
And
Which
if
is
they learn from their
fantastic.
lessons, go ahead.
No, you're good. Sorry, interrupting.
No, I was gonna say, and if they've truly learned about like the few weak points with Persona 5, then all the fucking better go for it. It should be up there.
I agree. I think the issue now is that it may also be too new for. I know it's kind of counterproductive on that, but I also think for narrative, I think it might be too new for everyone to unanimously surround that game as narrative, right? Like it's 100 some hour game. I'd be shocked if I could see if it's a 100 hour game, you could make the argument as to why it was a good RPG, sure, but the narrative you'd have to go through with the entire story to see, you know. You can still get bits and pieces of it and know the RPG is fucking solid, but like narrative you need to go through the whole way through. And did everyone do that? I feel like I made this argument before and it's backfired a bit, but I'm still gonna stick with it. Is that I just think it might be too long and too new to have gotten everyone on board. Uh, I'd be saying the same thing if it was like FF7 Rebirth here. If Rebirth was as new as Metaphor was, I think it might have been too big for a lot of people. But I think that has also been able to simmer enough and be completed by enough people that it could talk. I still think it's got a solid chance. I still think it's between Silent Hill, Metaphor, and FF7. But I think if Metaphor drops the ball on a lot of these awards, I think it's just the fact that it's too big and too new.
I mean, speaking of someone that hated remake and then came around on the idea of the whole remake trilogy, I don't think Rebirth belongs here for best narrative because it suffers so much for being the middle games.
Sure.
But at the same time, it's kind of one of those things that, like we've talked about already, it has that legacy, it has that recognizable name, so I get it. But I got to go Metaphor. I feel like if ever there was a chance for Atlas, it's this because fucking hell.
I feel like Final Fantasy VII does have a good pull at it though, because even though it is a middle game, I feel like there's a lot of good narrative that you get there between the party members, just in general.
And
Like,
it's got a lot of people that have played it. That's the thing with this. Remember, is that it's sometimes it's like who played these games, which can you vouch for? Oh, I didn't play Like a Dragon, but I did play FF7. So if you have to pick between the two, even if you didn't really massively enjoy FF7, you're gonna go FF7, right? So that's what happens with these awards. Sometimes it's a bummer.
yeah, and I feel like at Rebirth specifically is where we're getting like a lot of the meat and potatoes of like the core group. Like we're getting a lot of Barrett, we're getting a lot of Tifa, we're getting a lot of Aerith while we can, and it's we're getting a lot of stuff.
I need to go through
I
and
really need
Spoiler,
Adrian to hurry up and
yeah.
fucking finish.
yeah,
Rebirth.
I
Goddamn.
booted up the PS5 recently. I think it was when I was looking through some of the settings for something for Silent Hill, and I saw me trying to do FF7 remake. I really think I really want to do FF7 remake again with the knowledge of having done FF7 OG now.
I will say you do get a lot more out of it, especially with the context of remake being a sequel.
Yeah, so I really
it's
want to
such-
do that, but it's bugging the fuck out of me that it's not a PS5 game.
Yeah.
It's like killing my like just weird.
It is.
No, it's that I got the PS4 version, and it won't upgrade unless you have the disc for that game.
Oh,
And-
that's right, because you got rid of your disc.
Yeah. So I'm like looking for it to borrow it from someone or something just to get the upgrade so I could do that, because otherwise I don't know why, it just for whatever reason that shit just bugs me. I don't know why. It's not really that big of a fucking difference, but that shit just bugs the fuck out of me.
I don't
Fight the
know.
ball
If I
and try to find a PS5 copy.
No, yeah, and those are expensive as fuck.
Oh, that's right. I forgot because that was a limited run.
Yeah, well, yeah, fuck off, Sony. Like, what the fuck? It's limited run FF7 remake. Like everyone's like,
Again, I don't know what it is with Square not understanding the fucking value of Final Fantasy, but here we are.
Yeah, I don't know if I could go back to remake after playing Rebirth now, just because the combat in Rebirth is so fucking good
It's
compared
so
to
much
that
better.
remake.
Fucking hell.
It feels really good, and it's because I played remake and then Rebirth came out like literally the next week, and I hopped on it, so I was super fresh on it. And just going from that to that, it's like, oh my god,
It's night and day. It really
night and
is.
day.
Yeah.
It does make me that much more excited for what we get for the final game.
Oh yeah, I
but
can't wait to control some of those last party because I'd assume we don't get to control Vincent in Rebirth. Do
No,
we?
no,
Yeah, I
Sid and
can't-
Vincent, you don't get to control. In fact, that's one of my biggest complaints, and it's not really a spoiler, but it's kind of a spoiler. Sid's barely fucking involved.
I understand why, but it sucks.
It's so dumb because by the end of what happens with the end of disc 1, you have the whole party, and they've changed a lot of events around. Like, you don't go to Rocket City. And because of that, I kind of get why Sid isn't more involved in the plot. But the way that they decide to use Sid in Rebirth, it's weird that Sid isn't more directly involved in a lot of ways. So that's all I'm going to say. Like, there's one major thing Sid should have been involved in, but he's not, and I hate it. But,
Trey 50 in the chat. It's the same with me in Hogwarts Legacy and Callisto Protocol. I got the Xbox One versions right before I got into Series X. It's bugging me, even though there's not much of a difference between those two games and the next gen. Yeah. And sometimes when you do those, it does do the automatic upgrade. They charge for that shit on PS5, which is really fucking annoying.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yep. So that's what I think. It's like it's gonna be kind of stuck there because I think I feel like I want to. It's kind of like what I'm telling you with this whole Control and Alan Wake thing, where it's like I feel like if I'm gonna invest 70 to 100 hours into this game, I want to get the biggest bang for my buck back. I understand that it was kind of cool to have the novelty of me being like the outlier that didn't play the OG, but I'm kind of I want to get the most I could out of that game if I'm gonna do that, and so I feel like I need to go back and do Rebirth remake just to get everything. 'Cause I also didn't play Integrate either, so
have fun with all those fucking sewers and remake. God damn.
I didn't mind the game that much. Like it was all right.
Yeah, I don't mind the game. I just don't like all those fucking sewer levels.
Yeah,
This shit's annoying.
but I enjoy what I played, so I don't mind going through it again. I just need a way to get the PS5 version without it being a full priced fucking game.
fair.
With that said, let's go to our next category. Next category, best adaptation, which is a fun one, I think. Arcane, Fallout, Knuckles, Like a Dragon, Yakuza, and Tomb Raider: The Legend of Lara Croft.
I haven't seen the Tomb Raider adaptation that just recently came out, and two of these were absolute disappointments.
Actually, everybody said Arcane might win, but I do feel like it was a bit weaker in the first season than the first season. It's still ended up being a good season, but Fallout should might end up being the winner instead. I feel like Fallout would be.
All should win.
I think
easily.
Fallout should, just because it's new.
Hope Fallout wins.
It's new, and it took a lot of people off guard because I remember looking at the ads for that and thought it was be just trash. We talked about that,
Yep,
right?
Same.
Like it looks so almost like the Borderlands movie, right? Kind of like overly goofy. Like, all right, this isn't gonna work. And then it happened, and like I said, I watched it with a girlfriend who had no idea what the fuck Fallout is. Had a great time with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Same with my partner. Hell, my partner's mother ended up enjoying the fucking series, which was a weird fucking thing.
I think that goes to show. I think the best adaptations are the ones that can bring in anyone. It's like it's big nods and nudges to the fans, but it's a good ass show just to everyone.
Yeah, I just put it on. My wife sat down, started watching it with me. Then, like, an episode ended. I went to go do something. She's like, "Wait, you don't want to watch some more?" I'm like, well, yeah, let's watch some more. Then.
Say less.
Yeah, and the whole time she's like asking me questions, like, "Oh, does that happen in the game? Where's this?" I'm like, "Oh my god!" I'm just pointing stuff out.
It's
like, that's a super mutant.
Yeah,
You see that?
Yeah, doing the Leonardo DiCaprio meme.
Yeah.
I understand that reference.
Yeah, it's cute. Whenever me and the girlfriend are out and she sees the Vault Boy, she's like, "Look."
Yep.
I'm like, yep. That's. So yeah, I know Arcane's still solid. I think it got its accolades season 1. I think Fallout deserves some love, so I'm hoping that wins.
Yeah, I think a
100%.
lot of the newness has lost its shine off Arcane. It's still something that's a great technical feat, but it's I don't want to say more of the same because that's kind of a negative connotation to it, but it is just.
It didn't do anything
continuation.
crazy that makes it like, oh, everyone should look at this again.
Right.
You know what? It at least stayed true to what it was trying to be, as opposed to Knuckles and Yakuza. So
Yeah, I just don't think Arcane's bringing people into League of Legends like Fallout is bringing people into the Fallout.
Yeah,
games.
and I love that.
League
for
of
them.
Legends isn't bringing anyone into League of Legends, so it's
So-
fine.
With David, because I know this is a danger for me to ask, and I really keep it as brief as you can, for the sake of getting through this. What went wrong with the Yakuza thing? Because I've heard, yeah, that's why I'm telling you.
I've
The
heard that they
simplest
mix, like, a
way I
lot
can
of the
explain
story
it is
into
with
too.
a quote from the cast. Is they really wanted to make it their own thing, and Sega even encouraged them to just go do whatever you want with this series.
Unfortunate.
And they certainly made it their own.
So it's not any of the wackiness that we were like, or is it too much in that realm? Because I remember we were talking about how this is a weird series to try to adapt, because like the games, somehow they found this magic line of like walk between like serious and absolutely fucking goofy, but they did it and they're still continuing to do it. And I know anyone else that tries that is not going to be able to hit it as well as the games could.
Best way I can think to explain it is it's kind of like fan fiction about Yakuza written by someone that didn't actually understand Yakuza.
Written by someone that didn't play the games. They just like read a synopsis probably.
Interesting. Okay. So we'll talk about more about that later, because I definitely want to at least peep at it.
Also, my pick for the next category is going to be Black Ops. I'm going to go pee.
Interesting. I wonder if he just looked the first one, just said the first thing he saw, or actually went with it. Kels, you're with me on this one, right?
For audio,
Yeah.
I'm going Silent Hill.
Yeah.
But Senua Saga might take that one.
It's possible. I think I'm sure even Astrobot probably has some cute stuff going on with the controller and stuff, but I don't know. Silent Hill 2, that shit with headphones is a beast, dude. Like I feel absolutely uncomfortable with headphones on with that, which is prime Silent Hill. Fucking love that.
Damn, best score and music is kind of crazy too.
Yeah, so I think we don't really say anything about audio design. I think we're both pretty solid that Silent Hill 2 is just fucking king. But yeah, it's not score and music. So this is Astrobot, FF7 Rebirth, Metaphor ReFantazio, Silent Hill 2, or Stellar Blade.
Oh fuck. Oh, it's so hard.
Black Ops Gun, Silent Hill for Atmosphere, Senua Saga, I guess for sort of the same. And just it's always the voices that you hear in your head when you have headphones on just are incredible. So I would be cool if Hellblade won that, but Silent Hill 2 I think is just incredible. Same thing, kind of like what we said with Arcane is Hellblade did it once, fantastic. It's doing it again.
Yeah.
I don't think it necessarily needs to be accoladed again for doing that.
Yeah. It's like, we get it. You can do that good.
Yeah, which is cool, but let's reward someone else doing something different now. Yeah, so this is gonna be a crazy category. My heart wants to say Silent Hill 2, but it is all just remade music, right? It's all just treading the same waters. Metaphor, I heard I've not played nearly enough of Metaphor, but I heard the fucking soundtrack is as you would imagine, just incredible.
Dude, the battle music for Metaphor is insane. It's so sick. It's like intense, like monk chanting, like Gregorian monk chants. It's so crazy.
What are we talking about?
For audio design, we went with Silent Hill 2, but we acknowledge that Hellblade could as a possibility, but also same argument as Arcane that it does the same thing over again. So Silent Hill 2, I think, is just incredible audio design. We are now in best score and music. So Astrobot, FF7 Rebirth, Metaphor, Silent Hill 2, or Stellar Blade. I think, again, Silent Hill 2, my heart wants to say it, but just like the same two arguments I made, I'm not going to be too biased. Silent Hill 2 is just a remake of music. And the only game that I will ever be okay with that with is Nier. Which rightfully so. The Replicant did take away the award for that year that it came out, rightfully so. That's the only game that I'll ever go against my own idea with that. I think Silent Hill 2 still tread the same waters, but I think Metaphor, what he was saying is that the music in Metaphor, it goes nuts.
Oh, it goes fucking hard. I listened to a few tracks. I want Metaphor to win. I think that Rebirth takes this category, though.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be it's a race between Metaphor and Rebirth at this point.
Because again, we're talking about some of the most iconic music in gaming.
Yeah.
We're getting Genova's theme in this. We're getting another rendition of One Winged Angel. We're getting some of the most iconic music of 7 in this game. We got fucking Red 13's theme. There's
the song that Air sings.
Yep, we got that, which was a new addition, and definitely had left a lot of people with emotions.
Yeah.
I In my heart, being an Atlas fanboy, I want Metaphor, but I think it's Rebirth that wins.
Kels?
I'm going Metaphor.
I think breaking out of that same remake music, I know that Rebirth does different things with it. I think you're still treading enough of the same water that Metaphor is just going to win just because off of originality alone. All right. Best art direction. Astrobot,
Ooh.
Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree, Metaphor, ReFantazio, or Neva.
This one was hard.
I think if giving this to Elden Ring is so stupid. I think that's
Yeah,
literally like
that
if you want to
shouldn't be in here.
make whatever argument you want, I guess. I'm still disagree with it, and I will argue against it. But in this, literally, the art hasn't changed in Elden Ring, so that's.
I disagree with that, but
Okay, so explain. No, please do then.
the lands beyond, and then the area that you go in Shadow of the Erdtree is like an inverse of it. So I mean, it's completely different. It's the Erdtree's no longer like lit on fire. It's kind of hard to explain. There's a lot of tonal differences.
So
to
let me make an example. I think might be solid. It's like how Silent Hill 2 looks like two fucking different games with the fog. Fog in, it looks like a game, and fog out, it looks incredible, but also a whole different vibe.
I don't know. It's I wouldn't say that at all because it's completely different art style once you get into the second area and into the DLC. It's really hard to explain.
Is it significant different enough to warrant a nomination in this category?
Yeah, I was actually gonna say if there was one that I feel like is included in and could or should win, I feel like this would
That's
probably be
interesting
it.
because I would have not guessed that. Cool. So are you voting for that?
Yeah, I'd probably go there
Interesting.
or maybe Black Myth.
I'm gonna say Black Myth. I think Black Myth is gonna get something, and I feel like this, but I could see Metaphor also. David, you want Metaphor?
I'm going Metaphor because I'm kind of hedging my bets. I could see Metaphor losing some of the categories I voted for, but I could also see it winning this one. Astrobot, I could also see from an art direction standpoint, kind of like what I argued with Deathloop. That like in terms of the actual direction and trying to have a unique style and aesthetic, I could easily see Astrobot having a chance at this, but Metaphor is one of the most visually distinct games on this list, and so I want it to win. That's what my heart goes for.
Yeah, I can see Metaphor winning too because especially like something I realized like there's a ton of like full on anime cutscenes like in Metaphor, and like more so than I remember there being in Persona 5. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of emphasis on the art direction specifically for it.
Cool. All right, last handful. Actually, person, Deathloop is so good. Thanks, Dave, for reminding me. I need to eventually replay it again. All right. I think we're all maybe locked on this, unless David decides to pick Balatro. Best mobile game: AFK Journey, Balatro, Pokemon TCG Pocket, Wuthering Waves, or Zenless Zone Zero.
I'm gonna say it's gonna be Zenless Zone Zero.
Interesting.
Reason why is because Hoyo knows how to make a game that goes to the mass market. As much as Pokemon has a certain identity, like we've just talked about, I think Pokemon TCG Pocket lacks as a game. It certainly resonates as like, oh, I want to collect all the cool cards and all that, but it's not really a whole game yet. I think Zenless Zone Zero for the mobile game crowd is exactly what the mobile game audience is looking for.
Okay.
And I'm going Pokemon.
Same. All right. 4 left. Best performance: Brianna White for FF7 Rebirth, Hanatel for Life is Strange Double Exposure, Humberly Gonzalez for Star Wars Outlaws, Luke Roberts for Silent Hill 2, and Melina Jurgens for Senua Saga Hellblade 2.
Brianna White.
Issues with this one. I I don't know the name of the voice actor, but there's a voice actor in Metaphor that 100,000,000% like deserves to be here and would probably win if he was here. One of your party,
Interesting.
yeah, one of your party members. It's like one of the first ones that you get outside of your main core ones. His name's Heismay, and he's fucking amazing. The voice actor for it is his English voice actor, at least, is amazing. Like every time he talks, you just have to sit there and listen.
Okay. I mean, I'm excited to get to that then. But for
But
now,
but outside of that, probably Luke.
mm,
All right.
I really enjoy his performance. It's really good.
uh,
Again, this is a category that you could have easily filled this with so many performances just because of how fucking loaded this year was.
Yeah, I feel like at least 2 or 3 could have came out of Metaphor alone.
see, and
And
this
honestly,
is
even
this is
half of the
why
Rebirth cast, I'm gonna be honest, like
This-
fucking
yeah.
this is why I feel like the narrative might not go to Metaphor though. You know what? Fuck it. I'll go with you, Kels. I really want to do Melina Jurgens for Hellblade 2, but I just think the game just didn't splash enough. So that's fair. All right.
All right, let's go. Brianna White.
David's favorite category: best ongoing game.
Okay,
Destiny
so
2.
I have an
Let
asterisk
me
for
let me say it
this.
real quick.
All
Destiny
right.
2, Diablo 4, FF14, Fortnite, and Helldivers 2.
So I have an asterisk. This is one category I really do have an issue with, because as much as the Game Awards does try to recognize indies, I hate that we never see a fucking indie title in here.
Yeah.
And it's kind of getting sickening seeing the same 5 fucking games just about every year in here.
Yeah, where's Project Zomboid at?
But honestly, there's fucking so many games that
Vampire
are
Survivors.
Vampire Survivors. You know what? Honestly, I wouldn't make the argument for that. Honestly, also Void Stranger. It is wild to me how fucking slept on from like an academy level that Void Stranger is. I don't even like Sokoban games. I hate them. But I will fucking stand till my dying breath saying that fucking Void Stranger is a masterpiece that everyone fucking needs to experience. And that game still to this day is coming out with weird, continued, expanded, super hyper meta ways to complete and explore and expand on the game. It is an experience. It's a phenomenal story. It continues to grow. And it's fucking wild to me that we just keep seeing the same fucking games over and over in this category, and indies don't get recognized. With that said, I say it every fucking year because the same fucking games are always here. Final Fantasy 14.
You say the same games are always here, but there's no No Man's Sky, so
Yeah, I mean, Helldivers 2 technically replaced that.
they ain't want them winning again.
Before we say our two, April says, sorry if you haven't explained what's the deal with Helldivers 2 recently. And then also mentions that I was surprised that games like Allies Trials or Lethal Company didn't get nominated either. That game is really popular. I agree. I think it's just too much of a streamer game for some people to care, though. What happened with Helldivers 2? Who wants to chime in on that?
They made a bunch of stupid buffs and nerfs, upset the community, and they were, like David was saying, they were being pretty antagonistic back towards the community when they were being very vocal about not liking stuff. And so then, therefore, afterwards, the community was being very antagonistic back by, like, there's in-game challenges that you have to complete, or so the whole premise of the game is there's a big world map. You're getting attacked from every angle of it, and you at the center is Super Earth. You have to defend that. So people were intentionally failing the challenges so that you would eventually lead the live service game into a game over screen because they were unhappy with the game. But I guess now they've been rebuffing everything, retooling, and now it's in a good state. I don't know.
Fair.
Basically, they put themselves in a corner when they realized that because they wanted it run almost like a tabletop RPG campaign, where the players do have an actual control over how the narrative could progress, they realized that, oh shit, players are actually going to use that when we do shit they don't agree with, and they did a lot of shit players don't agree with this year. And so here we are.
So with all that said, though, I think this is gonna buck the fan base because I think Rick's gonna lean on it. So I think Helldivers 2 for this one.
Yeah, it'll probably get it.
All right, last two big ones. Best game direction: Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth, Wukong, Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree, FF7 Rebirth, and Metaphor.
I think this is one where Astrobot could win it.
I agree.
I feel
I'm
like
going
it's
You know
a
what?
slam dunk for a good platformer to win.
I think it's possible Balatro can actually pull this off on this one.
I could see
You
that
would.
too.
I say what you want about that, but I think of like the uniqueness of it though. How many games do you get like that, David? Like we've never really seen a game like that. Whereas like Astrobot, fantastically directed platform. We're not going to argue at all whatsoever. But like when we talk on like in terms of like unique factors and like which way that went.
Well, okay, but here's the
felt-
thing: people have been looking for ways to create unique spins on poker, literally since the inception of poker. It just happened that it came around at a time where there was no mass appeal game like it.
Sure, but now it hit it, and we're talking like best game direction where someone to nail that. I think versus again, I might just because game direction and game of the year don't necessarily need to coincide. I can see this one being just one that wants to get just Hail Mary to the indie dev for development because it's different, right? It's not a Hades, right? If you look at Hades is a pure roguelike, right? Like it goes through that game just like
It was
that.
Balatro.
But with a different element, right? Because like Hades still harkens back to Bastion, harkens back to what's the other game they made? Pyre, Transistor. It harkens back to that same play style. It just has a lot of characters, a lot of narrative, a lot of really good shit like that. This one adds in a whole different gameplay element that's not been done to this genre that's been like very, very much like thrown everything at recently, right? Like we've seen all kinds of roguelikes now, but the card thing, I don't know. I'm still gonna make that
I
argument.
think you're overhyping a concept that really, if you want to remove the gamer term of roguelike, it's a deck builder.
But
There's
again,
literally been hundreds of thousands of fucking deck builders.
it took until this one to make it this though. And again, I'm not say what we want, but like we could say platformers, right? I like Super Mario Odyssey is still a fantastic made platformer. Astrobot fantastic made platformer. Game direction, I feel like could go to Balatro, I think, with this. I don't think it wins game of the year. I'd be shocked and I'd be stoked if like that'd be the best fuck everything else for a year. But I just feel like game direction, it's the most unique of those. But I could also make it an argument that I love what they're doing with Rebirth, right? Like I love that they're going in and it's not a remake, it is a sequel. It is not like, but then again, like it wasn't. Unfortunately, that's a better argument for remake, right? Because Rebirth is already
And honestly, I can't give it to Rebirth because Rebirth had a lot of issues behind the scenes, and it fucking shows. Like originally, the game was gonna end right at basically right as you got to Gaganga. I'll phrase it that way. The game was originally gonna end there until someone said maybe we don't end it here. So I can't give it to for game direction because I feel like even as it was being developed, they still went back and forth a lot on what they wanted to do with it. And that's why I can't give it to Balatro because like say what the whole argument of like, oh, I mean, it's the one that has done something different, but it's not. It has not done anything different or distinct. It's just the one that got popular. I can't give it any credit for being the one that just happened to get popular.
I couldn't tell
Astrobot,
you.
I can give credit because it's a genre that's well defined and it's one that has a lot of heart and soul and passion put into it. Not to say Balatro doesn't have that per se, but at the same time, like Astrobot wears its heart on its sleeve. Balatro, again, it's not distinct, it's not different, it's not new. There's hundreds of games like it They may not necessarily have the roguelike genre. Fucking deck builder. Look at any fucking card drafting or deck builder game. Bam, you have Balatro. The only thing it does is, again, you added poker to it, but then again, look at literally fucking dozens of years of history of people trying to reinvent poker. It just happened to be the one game at the right time, at the right spot, that got popular for doing it.
Right, and but I think that says a lot. If we're talking that this is not a new concept, there's a reason why that one popped off. I'd say. Okay, well, it's kind of one of those agree to disagree things because I don't know. I'm willing to give it that. I can see arguments for every single thing except for Elden Ring because it's not a brand new game. But I digress. I don't know, because then again, I see Metaphor just for the style of it, but then again, it's very Persona-y. Still, when you want to break down to its core.
But I think also best game direction. I mean, I feel like you could say like how it blends like anime with traditional gameplay is would
Sure.
be a.
Let me read the. I want to go read the.
Yeah, is there like an official description? Like,
Yeah, let me go read that real quick.
That may help rein in some of our thoughts here.
Yeah.
Let's see. All right, Game Awards, please. Yeah, sure. Take the cookies. I don't give a shit. View all categories. Okay, awarded for outstanding creative vision and innovation in game direction and design.
Jesus.
So opaque.
You know, while we're here, go look at what they say for action adventure. What the fuck did they actually say for that category?
For best action adventure game, see, it makes sense in here now. I swear this wasn't what it was last time. For best action adventure game, combining combat with traversal and puzzle solving.
Oh.
Which makes sense. But then action, let's see. Yeah, for the best game in the action genre, focus primarily on combat.
If that's what that is, I'd probably go with Astrobot or Prince of Persia then.
I mean, yeah, because because it's combining combat, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. I don't think the combat in Silent Hill 2 is amazing, but that's kind of the fucking point.
Yeah. It's kind of getting.
Yeah, but that's because they don't have a horror category.
Yeah, that's another thing that kind of sucks. There needs to be like a, maybe not even necessarily horror, maybe like a, I don't know, like adult oriented game or like mature title. I don't know.
It would be, if this is the VGAs, it'd be like best fucking game for a man, sponsored by Glide.
Best game to get your cock rock hard, sponsored by Axe Body Spray.
Stellar Blade.
Yeah.
Best game to spread your cheeks to by Adam and Eve.
So what's your action adventure game then, Kels? Because I think I might have to swap that too.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Prince of Persia.
I'll follow you on that. I think people are gonna realize that game needs more accolades.
Yeah.
I'm keeping my current pick, but
that's fair. All right. So come back to it. So let me go back to and reread it one more time. Awarded for outstanding creative vision, innovation in game direction and design.
Yeah, that sounded more and more like Balatro the more I think about it.
It's got a fucking vision. It stands by it. I think the style of it, I think they nailed the style of it. I don't think this goes to FF7. Elden Ring is a wild card. I can't tell if it's popping off on there because it's just getting so high votes or anything. Or
I have no doubt that we're sleeping on it because of our own personal biases.
I'd be shocked if it didn't win something. I'm still not going to vote for it.
Because, like, at the end of the day, it's here because enough of these critics thought it belonged here.
Right. I really do believe that the remaining 4, Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth, and Metaphor, are games that have a vision. and I think I'm gonna stand by this. I think I'm gonna make my point. This, I think it's much easier to define a vision when there's a sole single person behind the reins, and I think that's why I think Balatro, I think so highly of Balatro, because it's so focused in what it wants to be. I think that is big time and due to the single development, right? It harkens back to Stardew Valley, where Stardew Valley has a very, very definitive look, style, vibe to it, right? And I think that's because there was one person behind the reins, whereas like these games can go all over the place, even though they could have a very strong vision leader, they can kind of dip in and out in other places too. Um, I'm gonna YOLO it. I'm gonna say Balatro. I think that's where I'm thinking. I think this is the big one that it wins. I don't think it wins Game of the Year, but I think this is the one that it wins. There has to be a reason why it's been popping off so much.
Purely to spite David.
Yeah.
Exactly.
All right, gentlemen, what do you guys have?
I'm right there with you.
Balatro?
Yeah, I think it's harkens to it.
Astrobot, clearly.
All right. Game of the Year. Game of the Year. Okay, same ones. Game of the Year: Astrobot, Balatro, Black Myth Wukong, Elden Ring: Shadow of the Erdtree, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Metaphor, ReFantazio. I think Metaphor, showing that there was no performances nominated for Metaphor, I don't think the game was completed enough. I think this was a simple nod in terms of like, we know it's a fantastic game. I don't think enough people played it, so I don't think it's Metaphor. I don't think it's Balatro. I think if it ever gets accolades, it's the best game direction. I don't think it holds up to it. I would fucking love it. Again, I don't give a shit if you hate it or love it. I think really that it deserves it really is like it takes two winning, and that's like I probably mentioned. It's like it's really cool to see a smaller game take on, like, imagine Balatro beating Elden Ring, right? Like, what a fucking mammoth of a fucking fight that is, right? And I think it really would be something good for the game industry to award a game that's, especially a single developer game, that's so fucking tough to do. But it's not winning Game of the Year. I could see Astrobot. I don't think FF7 takes it.
Absolutely not.
I worry about this. I hope it takes something, but I worry that FF7 Rebirth will be like the Doom Eternal of.
I was gonna say I feel like that's what Black Myth is gonna be. I feel like Black Myth is in a lot of these categories, but I feel like it's gonna get overshadowed in like a lot of them as well.
No, I unironically, I feel like Black Myth, while it was critically received, I think that based on like actual gameplay reviews, at least from what I've been kind of looking at, what I've talked about with people from work, it's a fine game,
Yeah.
but it's not a stellar game. It has a unique story behind it. You know, it's a massive Chinese developed game. It's kind of one of the first times that a Chinese developed game is really making waves in the West. So it has a history and a story behind it, but it's still not like that level. It's kind of like Yakuza, where it's still nowhere near that level of people really clamoring for it.
Right. I really, let's have that conversation now. I think we're about time before while we're deciding. Elden Ring, does it belong here or
No. DLC doesn't belong anywhere in here. There should be a specific category for DLC/expansions.
Yeah.
And that's where it belongs.
I think
Or if you want to do like continued game or whatever, you can put Elden
ongoing
Ring in
game. There you go.
Yeah.
Literally, we have a category called ongoing games.
So I understand when there's an expansion so big that it almost feels like a brand new game. If the game really, if the developers and the publisher really wanted it to be that, they would just make it a brand new game. It's an expansion, albeit a really good expansion, I'm sure. I think it's just a disservice when it's expansion of a game that already got its flowers overshadowing games that are just as deserving. I feel like, right? Like,
There are so many other games that could have easily been here from this
I think Silent
year.
Hill 2 is the biggest snub here.
I was just about to say that. I feel like that could have easily been Silent Hill 2.
Yeah, I think that's the spot that it would have had if it wasn't for Elden Ring. I understand everyone loves it, but like Elden Ring came out, like it's not a whole new game. Everyone's like, it
It
feels like
already won its awards.
you have to. It's not like a brand new game. Like you have to go in and beat.
I mean, to be
beat-
fair, neither is Silent Hill 2, but
no, but like you have to beat Elden Ring, right? Or you have to at least get pretty far in Elden Ring
You have to
to
be like
get.
20 hours into the game. That's like minimum, I feel like.
Yeah,
And
so
like if you know what you're doing.
so it's not a new game. You have to play 20 hours of a different game to get to the new content for that game. That's different. We're not talking remake. Like a remake, I've been cool with it. RE2 was here at some point. RE4 was.
simply put, we would never see a WoW or Final Fantasy 14 expansion in Game of the Year.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So why is this here?
I think it just critics kind of running crazy with it. I don't know. I also feel like Elden Ring being on here shows critics' palettes a little bit more. It kind of shows a little bit too many cards for the first time, where it's like, oh, you guys really didn't do fuck all this shit.
Souls games are too hard. We can't have those.
I mean, the critics all went over that, and I think that just shows that they just haven't. And I've been of this mind actually, like in little bits and pieces, where this is why I would love for a game like Balatro to win. I just feel like indie games are poised to never win this, simply because AAA games are always the ones that are played, right? Like, you ask someone to play through, they're going to play through Call of Duty before they're going to play through this other multiplayer game. They're going to play through Elden Ring before they play this game. They're going to play Astrobot before this game, right? So, like, if we're talking game of the year, I feel like just if Elden Ring doesn't take it, I feel like Astrobot had the biggest. It's usually the biggest casted wide net plus reception, and I feel like that has to be
I'm riding with
Astrobot.
Metaphor, I think.
Go with Metaphor.
Yep, I'm riding with them.
I would love for that to win.
We're locked in.
I think this is Atlas's year. If this isn't Atlas's year, they're never gonna have a year.
I just stand by the fact that it just. I'm trying to play through patterns right now, and I feel like the fact there's no performance, but we know the performances in Metaphor are solid. It just shows they didn't get through the game.
My man is putting a lot of thought into like the meta behind picking these games.
I think that's generally what it is, right? Like I feel like that's a big reason maybe why God of War won over Red Dead 2. We're talking about a 15, 20-hour game versus a 100-hour game. I'm gonna look back real quick. I want to look back at.
No, you're definitely you might be onto something, because it is kind of crazy to me that Metaphor didn't get a single performance nomination, because the quote unquote villain and at least one of your party members are some of the best voice performances I've heard in a game in quite some time, and that's over what I've played in Persona 5 Royale.
I think last year, and I mean this is gonna sound dumb, right? Last year already being Baldur's Gate 3 of all games, right? I think that definitely had a lot of momentum going in though. And it was definitely up. It was.
And they had a gay vampire.
True.
But
Metaphor
also,
doesn't have a gay vampire, bro.
Damn, way to spoil it.
Baldur's Gate 3, I think it was really between Baldur's Gate and Tears of the Kingdom last year. As much as I would love Alan Wake 2 to have won. So I mean that's a tough category that bucks my idea, but I feel like I don't know. I just feel pretty solid in that. Like Xenoblade Chronicles 3 was nominated.
Was a DLC.
Say again?
Tears of the Kingdom, that's just glorified DLC.
It feels like it
won.
sometimes. Xenoblade Chronicles 3 being game of the year, the nominated game of the year before that was never gonna win. I don't know. I just feel like it's the most wide net of AAA games that people would know, and then just the most accessible ones from that end too, I guess. But I don't know. People can nitpick that argument, and that's for sure. And I'm sure I could probably do some research and back myself up a bit. But I just don't think people played it enough. That's why I think I'm sure it deserves it. I would love for it to win. I just think the
My
only
only
way.
counter argument is like they
There's a lot of
explain that like all the
counter-arguments, let's
games
be
are
real.
here are because of the fact that like this is what the critics chose to be here. So if Metaphor is being chosen this much by critics to be here, they fucking played the game.
think of it this way: if IGN, because IGN has to pull their votes together and they put out a vote that way, that's a whole different thing. Like, you know, like the voting thing is so bizarre. Plus, also factor in that it is a 10% vote from the audience too. Did they play this game?
Fair. I don't think 10% shifts for a game to be here.
No, but that's what I'm saying. It could be everyone put a nomination for that, but ultimately did everyone play that game, right? They really even out the votes for judges category that leave it open ended, I think. I would love for it to win again. I think it does. I think the most accessible one would probably do it here, and it's going between Elden Ring and Astrobot, and I'm just gonna go just out of principle. I'm not gonna vote Elden Ring. I think it's Astrobot. I think.
I mean, it's huffing the hopium.
I would love for Astrobot to win. I think this God bless. I'm glad that something came out of Sony that's not a fucking dramatic, cinematic, over the shoulder adventure game about a father figure and their child. But
has a family game ever won this category? Anything that's been in the family game category?
Do you count Overwatch as a family game?
No, I don't think they did.
Or It Takes Two.
It Takes Two counts.
Did it win their game of the year?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did
Yeah.
it? Oh shit! All right.
That was a bizarre one, but I'm so glad that actually happened. Let's see.
No, that one definitely deserved it.
Oh, Last of Us Part 2. There you go.
Yeah,
family
it's definitely a family game.
Family.
Family. Breath of the Wild won the year they came out.
Was Breath of the Wild a family game though?
No, but they put that Nintendo games and they just default to those for that. All right. Yeah. Wait. Wait a minute. Why wasn't Concord nominated for best ongoing game? I couldn't imagine why not.
Yeah, it has a secret level episode. It has to be a really good ongoing game,
Yeah.
right?
I hope this encourages Sony to not do more of the same kind of games because if
Oh, they're not
No,
going
it
to
just
learn their
encouraged-
lesson until they've lost literally billions.
Yeah, it just went and encouraged them to go buy some more companies to make the money for them.
yeah. So that's our votes. Speaking of, let's transition. Perfect transition. David, would you like to be mad?
Oh, I fuck. That's my secret cap. I'm always mad. That's how the line goes, right?
Yep.
So fucking Sony. It's been announced that they have intentions to try and buy Katakawa Publishing. So Callus has just left the chat. But Adrian, are you familiar with Katakawa?
I'm not.
I'm telling you, that's a lie. Because even if you don't think you're familiar with Katakawa Publishing, you're wrong. They have their hands in so much shit, from anime to games to music to movies. They're involved in so much. Pretty much almost every major fucking anime, most of them have come from Katakawa in the past like 10 years. Elden Ring is owned, the parent company of From Software is Katakawa. Spike Chunsoft, the parent company, is fucking Katakawa. Katakawa is a massive fucking conglomerate with a lot of Yakuza ties, funnily enough. And it is one of those wild situations where if Sony were to be able to actually go through with buying Katakawa, they basically create like a weird wild monopoly on anime distribution because there's so many anime and manga and light novel properties owned by the company that unless you're Shonen Jump or unless you're
Netflix.
I mean even fucking Netflix is filled with Katakawa properties.
Well,
But
I'm just memeing because they have their own like really bad anime division.
true. But I mean, unless you're fucking Shonen Jump at this point or Toei, there's no other fucking like anime distributor because Sony already owned Funimation, and they're like, "Fuck you," and bought goddamn Crunchyroll, and said, "Nah, Funimation sucks. Let's get our Funimation and just have fucking Crunchyroll." So, like in the West, there really isn't other options. So, unless again, you're Toei or fucking goddamn Shonen or Jump, or you're a weird standout like Ufotable, you're not surviving. They are the market at this point. And then again, from a game standpoint, Spike Chunsoft, so like a massive amount of the mass appeal visual novels are now under there. A massive amount of the mass appeal puzzle games are under there. From Software, which granted, that would make sense to me. It would make sense if Square or Sony specifically wanted From Software, considering how many of their properties are fucking Sony exclusive anyways. Fucking one day we'll get a re-release of 3D Dot Game Heroes. Maybe one day we'll get that.
Yeah, we'll
but
get that right after we get Bloodborne.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as we get the PS5 version of that. But it's just frustrating to see another potential massive monopoly happen, especially after we already saw basically the death of streaming options in the West. You two chat about that while I pee for my fourth time. My second time.
I don't have anything to say about it.
Yeah.
David just gave us thing and said, "Huh, go ahead for it."
Yeah, he's put a fucking brick on the accelerator and gave us the steering wheel.
Yeah, just jumped out. Said, "All right, cool, have fun."
Wild card, fuckers.
I don't go for it.
Yeah, no, I think we're both in the same boat.
Yeah, I feel sorry. David's mad. I understand why he's mad. This isn't my realm. I will be mad with them.
Yeah, I'll be more mad when it like directly affects, like if I'm watching something and it's like, oh yeah, we canceled this because of this, then I'll be mad.
Then I'll join David and be like, "Yeah, fuck them,
Yeah.
pieces of shit."
But for the time being, man,
Yeah.
one, I don't know, it's a weird thing because they aren't like, so the whole thing with Microsoft buying up Activision was because they were two American companies. So the FDA, whoever oversees that, they're able to. Are they able to interfere or do anything about two foreign companies? Like,
I don't know.
how does that work? Like, I don't understand like how international businesses work like that.
I don't know. I guess that's a David question when he's back in a second.
Because I understand the American penal system or whatever being able to look into and be like, hey, does this violate any antitrust monopoly laws? But I don't know how that works internationally.
How does it work internationally if it's antitrust laws, David?
I don't think it does, because I think antitrust laws are predominantly an American thing.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Well, okay, so but the whole thing like with Microsoft buying Activision, there's like shit in British courts like trying to stop it from happening.
Because I think the reason why that it happens there is they follow similar copyright structure of America. So a lot of Asian countries either have like insanely weirdly loose copyright that it's also strict at the same time. So like Japan's a weird nebulous black hole of copyright because they turn a blind eye to like so much shit in Japan, but at the same time, they have no problem pulling down the fucking hammer of God on a lot of things.
Yeah, like knockoffs. Knockoffs are like everywhere, but for some reason they'll just come out with like a fucking hammer from hell to just annihilate any like a random company selling knockoffs for XYZ.
Well, because like the whole doujinshi subsection of Japanese culture is fascinating because so many artists and game developers and musicians, a lot of them get their start in that scene of just making like fan fucking products for shit.
Yeah.
But at the same, and that's allowed. Like that kind of mostly gets like a blind eye turn to it, but it weirdly feels like it's mostly like fan shit made in like Western regions that the ban hammer fucking comes down on.
That makes sense.
Sorry, David. I don't really have any. We were saying you kind of just floored the gas and just gave us the wheel. We are mad for you. I'm sure if it'll affect
Hell
us
yeah.
one day, we'll also be there. But yeah. Everybody says gotta head out, but it was a fun conversation to listen to. It looks like I'll have to try see what Bellator's about. I agree. Go for it.
Yeah, he fucks with Hades. He'll probably like Belatro.
Yeah, if you like roguelikes, Belatro's phenomenal.
All right. I think that's it. So yeah, let's dip out of here.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. David can go get some sleepy sleeps in.
You say that as if I'm actually gonna sleepy sleep.
No, go lay down though or something.
Belatro.
You say that as if that's gonna happen.
Imagine. I mean, to be fair, after the first time you mentioned it, I never let you go back to it, but it is what it is. I understand why. Anyway, that's the podcast. Thanks for listening.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
Stream.
Hell yeah.
Adios. Wish David health, and let's see if he's sick next week.
One day I'll be healthy again. You know what? Fuck it. I just want to be able to breathe throughout my nose. That's all I want in life.
That's
Honestly.
Just be able to breathe through my nose again. I hate mouth breathing.
just a mouth breather.